Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a high-level game between Reynor and Ryung, the rank 23 of the world versus the rank 7. Ryung is a player that is very respected, especially in the Korean scene, but I also think a lot of foreigners think of him as a strong strategical mind. We often see players like Maru or Bian steal concepts that Ryung comes up with and then execute them with better mechanics, which I think has to be pretty frustrating for Ryung in a way. Like he's putting in the labor of the mind, the strategical thinking, and then players with better mechanics than him, they take those concepts and just execute them a little bit better due to higher speed, better micro, etc, etc. But as a result, we very often see Ryung take games off of very high-level players, or at least give them a serious run for their money due to his powerful brain, really. He has a very, very powerful brain. Reynor, of course, a mechanical monster over here, is going to be opening up with a double Overlord, just kind of hanging around. Not really doing a whole lot of scouting for anything else. And we have a proxy Rex coming out of Ryung. Now, this is not the most revolutionary build in the world, but an interesting build nonetheless. Double barracks means that the optimal response often is going to be a drone pool. As, ooh, you have a fake scout here coming across. Really cute play out of Ryung. Wanting to show to his opponent, hey, I'm playing a very standard game here. Do not worry about anything. I'm just gonna scout you right now. And Reynor sees this and is none the wiser. Is not going to be starting any blind spines instantly. No shenanigans here. We're still going to get Queen, Ling, Ling. That is the golden standard. After all, we're going to go for a triple bunker rush here. But this bunker is just going to be a little bit too late. Very frustrating for Ryung. He's going to have to reset that wall. Do believe this is going to be a full wall. Don't think there's any holes in here. So a lot of drones have been pulled downstairs. Reynor seems a little bit indecisive as to what to do. Going to be walking back and forth. It's like, you know what, I cannot actually do this. There's 4 marines here behind a 3 bunker wall. Drone Ling is just not going to cut it. You do have 2 spines on the way. I wonder if this bunker is in range of the hatchery. I think it is, right? Yep, there we go. Okay, so hatchery is under some pretty decent fire here. Not super heavy fire, but decent enough. SCVs are going to move towards the other side. Spy now moving in position. It's going to be in range. Okay, that is in range. But I feel like 3 SCVs repairing full time should be good enough. Oh, look at this cute little micro here. Sees the spine attack, moves out of the bunker, and goes back in. There are 2 queens nearby, though. We're not done quite yet, as these marines are taking a little bit of damage as well. 1 marine ends up going down. There's plenty of repair here. At least for now. More and more marines on the way. CC being built on the high ground. Gas being mined behind this as well. So we're now going to go for the attack here on this bunker. The SCVs are being targeted down by the queens. You have a couple of transfuses remaining as well. But I think this timing out of Reynor is good enough, to be honest. Links are going to be breaking through. Transfuse is still available. And all 3 bunkers are going to get taken out. A couple of marines will get to escape. So he's trying to salvage these bunkers, but it's not working out. They do get attacked, and nowadays if a bunker is being attacked while it's being salvaged, the salvage will reset. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense that you can salvage a bunker while it's still under attack, so I'm glad that they changed that at some point. Factory here is about to finish up though, and a 3rd CC will start momentarily as well. This was a hold out of Reynor, but it cost him quite a bit. A lot of larva into links. You know, a lot of drones are just kind of moving around. 2 spines have been built as well. Now we're going to go into speed off of 2 bases. As a Ling is going to go for a big scout across the map. With the barracks coming back home. Reactor here on this factory. And I think that this worker is probably going to try and work on a starport at some point. As we see the CC flying over no orbital quite yet. Ooh, neat little move here. He's going to snipe that Overlord for certain. Ling count is decent, but without Ling speed. I always feel like it's pretty freaking tough to kill marines. 8 marines versus 16 links. I'm not even sure if that is really a fight that Reynor wants to take. Actually, I'm pretty certain that is a fight that he doesn't want to take until he has speed. So the first 2 Hellions are now on the way out as well. Starport is coming out, and there is a chance we're going to see Banshees. There's also a chance we're just going to see a straight up swap, right? Swap onto the reactor for some fast medevacs. It's not going to be the case. Get a tech lab over here. Links went back home. At the end of the day, it's honestly kind of difficult to figure out who the hell is winning right now. It's going to be faster triple CC, then there is 3 hatch. You have a quick Evo chamber on the way, most likely for a carapace upgrade, and the follow-up is going to be Banshee. Cloak Banshee, to be exact. Now, Reynor is not a player that is afraid of playing mech. He's also not a player that's afraid of playing bio. He can really do both. I often feel like his win rate against the highest level players is going to be a little bit better when it comes to the mechanical units. As these 2 Hellions are just going to get caught over here. Reynor's going to be very happy with that as a start. And Reynor does get a warning that there's a high amount of links on the map right now, because he saw about 20, 25. He's going to need to stay on the high ground here with the Hellion Marines. 4 Hellions should be good enough to at least put a little bit of a dent here in those Zergling numbers. Marines on the high ground, Hellions on the low, and indeed this is going to be just fine. Reynor actually taking pretty significant losses here. It's going to be Stim as a follow-up. Another reactor here on the way, and we're going to see the eventual swap of the Banshee builder, of the starport onto this reactor. And then most likely just play a standard bio game. As we have double E-base coming in as well here. Reynor with the Baneling Nest, not there quite yet. Does need to actually be pretty careful here. Don't think Reynor is at all aware of the fact that there's going to be double Banshees. And that could be an issue. This base is still extremely low. Queen count is very fair at 6, soon to be 7, 8, 8. 8 is what we're moving towards, but without an overseer, it can be pretty tricky here to hold these bases. So, I'm not sure if the Banshees got spotted by a Ling, or how Reynor has figured out that something is going on, but spores are coming down. Yeah, this base just needs to be transfused a couple of times, just for safety's sake. There we go. 3-4 transfuses going down here will keep this base alive for now. As the Banshees fly further forward, 57 workers to 50. Even getting 4 or 5 workers here would be a pretty big deal already. As response time out of Reynor is good. Only loses 2 so far. 3rd worker about to go down. The Banshees make their way into the main base where there are some gases that could potentially be vulnerable. At the same time, we have a Ling run by on the other side doing similar work. This is one of those things where, you know, Reynor is trying his absolute best, loses a Banshee, invests a lot into that, and then 18 Lings achieve the same thing on the other side of the map. And that has to be pretty frustrating here for Reynor. So he gets his extra barracks down. Double drop instantly, no real defense over here either. Hellions moving on to the map. Run by could be a serious problem right now for the Terran player though. As these 2 medevacs are making their way over towards the right side. Might get a cancel actually on this fort base. There's not a whole lot of creep. Some creep in the middle has also disappeared already as these queens are moving over. Gonna get an unload and a quick stim in. I wonder if he waits for 1-1 upgrades or if he's just gonna run in blind. But with a purpose. Here we go. Big stim comes forward, tries to target this down. Not quite gonna get it. As the Lings show up, Banelings follow shortly. And this is gonna get stopped. Behind this, we're actually gonna go into an Adrax. So we have a couple more barracks on the way. Not an uncommon build order at the higher levels of play right now. Perhaps not the most common thing to see on this particular map, but Adrax has been popular, will remain popular for a long, long time to come. Search are struggling with an answer to it. +1 attack on Marines is so freaking powerful. Even if you're fighting against +1 carapace. Yeah, you feel so freaking neat. As Reynor is doing a good job matching upgrades, or at least being up in carapace upgrades the entire time. Burrow on the way, no infestation pit quite yet. That means that Vipers are far away. The Vipers are often kind of the game ender against the Adrax due to the blinding cloud on the tanks. It is very difficult to fight properly with a Ling Bane army if you do not have Vipers. Ultralisk also are a great answer, of course. If you ever get Ultras out against a high number of Marines, that tends to be pretty darn decent as well. Reynor is moving toward the bottom right side where a couple of Lings and Banes are waiting for him. Or maybe Reynor was waiting for his opponent not to pay attention. We get a scan on the other side of the map. Look at that. Really cute salty lair over here. And now knows how fast he needs to move on further forward. Actually, a couple of these tanks here are being caught on the left side. This is an okay siege up. I do not actually think Reynor can attack into this. The tanks are very far in the back. This is just a solid position all around. There's still Hellbats nearby as well. I think Reynor's going to come from 3 angles at the same time. We have a big surround coming in here. Baneling count is decent as well at 32. Carapace level 2 finishing up in 7 seconds. And the moment that finishes up, I do believe that Reyoung is about to die. His reinforcements find one of the flanks actually. That makes this fight a lot harder and a lot less nice here for Reynor. These Marines kind of flanking this force. Couple of tanks here sieging up in the far back as well. This army still remains on the right side for now. These Banes are getting sniped as well by the Marine force. Honestly, Reyoung is doing a great job. He also has this Banshee harassing the top side right now. He's even microing that. Saw the Spore move. Very well done. The 2 tanks in the back here still dealing a lot of damage. 11 kills, 10 kills, and 3 kills. That is a lot of kills for these bad boys. So once more, Reynor is setting up that same flank as before. Has Hive on the way at this point, and here we go from all directions. The Baneling count might not be that high, but I think it's just going to be high enough to get a pickup here. Medevacs stay alive. Tanks get taken out. Behind all of this, we actually do have a fort base. Meanwhile, Reyoung also moving towards the far left already. Reynor has sensed it. You don't need to get bitten by a spider, apparently, to get solid game sense. Double burrowed Baneling here might help in this defense. There we go. Medevacs are going to get pushed back. This Banshee is still active, or active once again. His supplies are pretty even. Upgrades are going to be heading in towards Reyoung's favor, as the Hive isn't quite done yet. Baneling Ling attack now coming in as well. But I think with this tank very far forward, plenty of Marines nearby, fort base flying over, I don't really see a viable path here for Reynor to kill his opponent. If anything, this might even be a little bit over-eager. The one nice thing about this, if you're this far forward with Ling Bane, is that you get a lot of these Baneling burrows aggressively. And that's indeed what we're seeing. We have 3 Banelings in the middle. Wouldn't surprise me to see like a little clump of Banes over here. Maybe a couple of Banes on the right side as well. Just stopping the attacks on multiple paths here would obviously be great. Just behind this we have a Spire, 4 Vipers, which is a very high number of Vipers. Ultra Cavern, Carapace upgrades, Adrenal Glands. Oh, Ling Bane moving a little bit further forward here. Get a lift on this base. And a burrow underneath it instantly as well. Liberator harass coming in. Reynor is in position with queens though, so this is not quite gonna work. One queen is not gonna fall. Okay, is gonna fall. But that will be the end of that. As Reyoung has had a fort base for a while now, but hasn't really had it mining. Top left side is actually under heavy fire. There's no Banelings here. This is going to be an issue, and this might even be the end of this base, as these Marines have 2-2 upgrades. Lings are being sent over to fight. As Reyoung's getting a pretty decent battle over here. We get a pickup. Majority of the Marines stay alive. A lot of the Lings end up going down. At the same time, Reyoung pushes in further forward. Reynor all of a sudden finds himself down 50 supply. 3-3 about to finish up here as well. So the right side base is going to get taken out. About 14 minutes into this game. To me, it's starting to feel like Reyoung might be getting a W over here. As he's very far forward, doesn't have a lot of siege units, actually has no siege units whatsoever here. There's a single tank, but that tank is at home. Base is finally gonna burrow here, gonna land. As drones on the right side have burrowed, so Reynor managed to keep a decent portion of his workers alive. Vipers now showing up with a couple of parasitic bombs as well, and we see I think 2 or 3 medevacs going down pretty much for free. Banelings rolling further forward. Do they get the connections? Kind of. Target fire on the Banes is non-existent. Feels like Reyoung is throwing away his lead at least a little bit. It has an economic lead for certain. Oh, actually he's also pushing through here. I think his base is gonna die too. Reynor's gonna get reset most likely to 3 bases. Workers do stay alive, so it's 77 workers to 69. Gonna have 5 bases though versus 3. Actually, it's not true. There's a fort base here on the bottom right. This is the hidden base. The secret passageway that Reynor isn't aware of. It would be nice to scout that. Because without a scout on that base, life is gonna be tough. I mean, life's already tough. Just in general, but... no knowledge of this base is gonna suck. I love how aggressive Reyoung is. This is the This is like the mode that you go into if you're beating a player that is better than you. Like, you don't want to give them an opportunity to come back into the game, so often you start making bad moves that are overly aggressive, giving your opponent the opportunity to get back into the game. Running 16 Marines deep into creep, trying to snipe the natural of your opponent while there's more than 6 Ultras out on the map, that is definitely a move that, we can have a nice little debate about whether it's the correct one. And I don't think the person that is going to be in favor of that proposition is going to be winning that debate. Because it is probably just not the correct call. We have a very decent Ultra count. There's a couple of spellcasters out. And this is usually the setup that you want to get into. If you're a player that is going to be better in the late game, you want to get kind of these high value units. The Vipers, the Infestors. The Ultras have an ability to win fights as well. Especially in combination with good caster usage. So I think Reynor is setting himself up for a bit of a comeback. At the same time, Reynor, by the way, really should try and get Drilling Claws out. Just as a single factory, but it has pumped out about 10 mines. Without Drilling Claws, though, it's going to be a lot tougher to use them in a fight. Infestor here is chasing this army. Does not seem like Reynor is aware of this. Here we're going to get an Unburrow as well as a Fungal. It's going to connect in the middle of this army as the parasitic bombs come down. And this entire force is going to disappear off the face of the earth. Medevacs being Vipered down here as well. Don't even get the drops on these units. 2 Medevacs with a couple of Marines and Marauders will survive. At the same time, we're going to get an attack towards the top side. But Ultras are available. Mines are great. But honestly, without Ghost Liberator, it's really tricky to fight this army. As Reynor has managed to get back up to 1, 2, 5, 6 bases. 7th on the way over here as well. Worker count still relatively low. This attack here is most likely going to kill the planetary and cancel at least one of these command centers as well. 15 workers going down right now. 20 workers going down. And the base falls here too as Reynor is taking the reins back from Reynor. What do you know about horses? It's my turn again. He's absolutely has been smashing Reynor in the past few fights. Reynor now trying to retake a 5th base as he's just lost the bottom right. He's gonna stay quite compact on these bases. Easy to defend with some half decent movement. 6 ghosts on the way out. Let's not forget, ghosts right now have 25 more health, as well as 1 less supply. And Banelings are better against them, but everything else is going to be significantly worse. So if the ghost count continues to grow and Banelings do not get the right connections, this could actually be kind of okay still for Reynor, who is very low in worker supply. That means his army is going to be significantly bigger. Banelings not quite getting the connections with this army. Ghosts are starting to fall. The Marauders now show up as a backup force. Banelings do get a couple of kills here on SCVs, on mules, but Liberators going to be gunning down a lot of these Ultras. With the help of the Marauders as well. Bottom right side base is still fairly undefended. Is Reynor even aware of that? Yeah, Reynor is aware of the base. Hasn't really managed to harass it whatsoever. You have an Infestor here that's on the edge of the scan. If Reynor isn't careful, he could once more get fungled big time. Gonna need one big scan over here to find that Infestor. Would be extremely helpful. This base is gonna die. 4 Marauder drop actually towards the bottom right side. Let's see, does he try to kill this base? I think he's gonna get this base. Just right click and pick up. There we go. 1 Marauder goes down and so will a hatchery. Liberators are unsieging. And with Ultras this low, honestly, Reynor is making a pretty decent case for staying in this game for at least a little bit longer. I think the main issue really is the quality of his army. Once more, no Drilling Claws here on these mines. No range yet on the Liberators, no Caduceus Reactor on the Medevacs, and a Ghost count. That isn't necessarily something to be proud of. Because he has 1, I think, right now, yeah. Could go for an EMP, I guess, but it's not usually how you want to be using it. A couple of extra refineries coming in here as well. And we have extra orbitals. So we're at 5 already. Mine moving towards the top side here as well. It's our Liberator. It's going Viking? I guess Viking to deal with the Corruptor Viper. The Vikings are quite cheap and efficient. We have vehicle plating on the way as well. Ghost is out, or sorry, Cloak is out. A couple more Ghosts now on the way as well. I mean, the gas income really isn't that bad. It's really funny how the approach of Reyoung would differ from a lot of other Terrans in this situation. Very frequently, if Terrans go to a very low worker count, they want to kind of get that worker count back up until they at least have a slightly higher orbital count. Reyoung says, actually, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be a bit more passive and maybe not create the best army, like quality-wise, but quantitative-wise, he's going to have a freaking huge army. It's going to go up to like 145 army supply while sitting on 55 workers. The Reynor's actually staying on a lower drone count himself as well, which is going to help him against such a large army. But at the end of the day, and this really is a very sizable force that Reyoung has constructed right now. He's adding in extra command centers as well, waiting for his opponent to attack into him. And usually in these types of situations, we see a slight advantage for Terran. That's what we're seeing here as well, a 6k advantage in the resources lost right now. And as Reynor hasn't started mining from any of what I'd call Reyoung's bases, if this game goes into a super late game, this could be a serious issue. Now, we're not there yet. We require at least 3 more bases to be taken for Reyoung. There's 4 more bases kind of on his side, but I doubt either player is going to take this base for a while. Same thing with this base up here. We're going to get a deny once more on this bottom right side that belonged to Reynor. The base that kept him alive for a little bit longer is going to get to escape here as well, with those medevacs, Reyoung that is. And at the same time, he's going to take this top left side base. No turrets nearby to help against this infestor. They could actually bite him in the bum in a little bit from now. He's really going to need some deeper turrets. Liberator set up at home, as well as the mine should be good enough to deal with this Ling run by. Ghosts are going to show up here too. And although this was a cute little move, I don't think it's actually going to achieve a whole lot. Maybe get a couple of depots down. Double sensor towers right next to one another. Infestor still lurking in the shadows. Okay, we get 1 scan over here. Definitely gonna need another scan in this area as well. But right now, that's not what Reyoung is doing. Ling run by is going to hit the main base here right now. Take a look at the first person of Reynor. As he sees that the door is open, he says hello. Probably shouldn't have done that. Comes in your house, steals your food. It's like a raccoon in the night. Or raccoon during the day. Raccoons don't actually care about the time of day very much. When they see an open door, they're there to steal your food. One of the many rules of the raccoon. Turret once again too far forward, is not quite going to catch this infestor. And this infestor is going to be very important here right now as the Ambardos gets a big fat fungal in the middle of this force. Banelings are rolling in further forward. Viking Liberators all getting caught here by the infestor Viper combination. Can we get a couple of snipes here? The answer is no. Planetary is going to survive. Ultras are all gonna die. This fight was actually about even, which is exactly what you want as Reynor. Because he is outmining his opponent. And he has been outmining his opponent for a while. That's one of the most important things you have. 3k mineral income against, well, earlier it was like 1500. Now we're back to 2.7, 2.8. Look how many mules we have over here. Currently still only at 5 orbitals. So this is, what do you call it? Like 2 sets of mules here. Had to save up a little bit for that. I mean, the real problem right now for Reyoung is that he isn't even maxed and he's nowhere near being maxed. And he has this base, and this is just a very tricky area to hold. His opponent is moving further and forward. Banelings are going to start hitting this planetary right now, and the planetary is going to fall. There is a backup command center. That is going to be great. Corruptors are actually moving very far forward. He's going to lose a couple of Corruptors as a result. One Ultra perhaps in some trouble as well. Snipes coming down as the Ultra runs away. New command center is going to set up shop, but this base is out of minerals. This base still has a couple of patches. Here we have only 4 patches remaining. Like, this is going to be the last of the bases pretty much. Meanwhile, Reynor, what does he have? It's like 5 patches here. Decent patching over here. This base is somewhat healthy. And I really think that Reynor right now might even have the ability to take both of these neutral bases. And if he can do that and he can get away with just one of them, I'm having a difficult time seeing how Reynor is going to survive for much longer. These mines are in good positions. I freaking love having mines a little bit deeper into the Liberator Zone like this. Because then if the initial links run in, they die to the Liberators rather than the mine triggering on them. And that's what we saw there as well. Like links running in, then whenever the mine is trying to hit them, Liberators shoot down the links that are being targeted by the mine. So that means that the mines, they're still alive once the Bane links start rolling in, which can be a pretty huge deal. As this link run by actually is a pretty big mistake, I think. It's going to lose a lot of links over here. About 15 supply of links went down. Get a mule to repair this turret. As once more the links are going to come in. One mine is going to get cleared. A couple of marines going down now as well. Not quick enough there with the lift on the depots. And once more links are going to enter the main base. It's going to be hell to deal with. And at the same time, once more we have Reynor trying to bust this area. But with the turrets and the Liberator setup, it's actually very tricky to run in here. Liberators do such a good job against absolutely everything, and the turret do a great job against the air unit. Corruptors are being taken out right now by those anti-air turrets. Every single Corruptor is gonna fall. Liberators stay alive, but the Planetary is gonna go down. The Liberators are so freaking strong, it's actually crazy. It's not even advanced ballistics, although I do think we have a fusion core. Yep, there we go. Resources lost is 55k to 43,000, so somewhere over the past 2.5-3 minutes, we saw another plus 6k swing in favor of Reynor when it comes to the resources lost. The problem just is that he's been outmined for a very long time right now, and Reynor has even managed to set up this bottom right side base. Reynor is lacking the middle. Reynor is lacking this thing as well. Reynor is lacking a solid setup over here. This is why we very frequently see like a planetary being placed in this type of area still as well. So now we're going to get a lift. That actually is pretty frustrating. Still no drilling claws, by the way, means that whenever a mine gets triggered, these links are going to be capable of just killing it pretty much for free. As once more Liberator plus turrets is the setup. As there's no real ground support, the Corruptors are doing a fantastic job. Liberators now showing up, a couple of snipes, as these Corruptors will end up falling, and more Libs will set up. Sensor tower is going to get taken out before we get a repair. New one gets constructed. 121 army supply to 124. Gas count for Reynor, by the way. Not very big. This could be an issue. And we have these gases. One of them is not mining. Here are some gases that aren't mining. Here's a gas that isn't mining. Here's a gas that hasn't been mined yet. So there's really a lot of opportunity for Reynor to just get these gases whenever he wants them to. But he does need to be careful in the next few minutes because he just doesn't have the ability to rebuild gas units. Like if he loses 6 ultras right now, he's dead. Right? Like he just cannot rebuild them. That is the reality of things. Gotta get +3 attack on the air units. No +3 by the way on the melee quite yet. I hadn't even noticed that yet, and neither did Reynor apparently because well, they're not there yet. Raynors are trying to get the connections. Couple of snipes coming in as well. Planetary here is going to fall. I don't really think this is the end of the world, and I actually think this is a very, very risky attack out of Reynor right now, because he's committing a lot of his resources to kill a base that was hardly mining. Let's get an okay trade though, so at the end of the day it's going to be worth it. But boy, that was a really risky move, I think. At the same time we had a double drop here taking out the top side. The main problem for Reynor right now is that he has no bases that are defended on the right side anymore. So this was kind of like a high ground holding planetary. There's nothing here on the bottom right side. This isn't a planetary anymore either. So everything right now is being held with like some Liberator mine defense. And that's just going to make things extremely difficult as these Corruptors trying to move in forward. We have a couple of Marines just standing there waiting for stuff to happen. It's just going to be pure unit defense. This is not usually what you want as a Terran player, because the planetary doesn't cost supply and units do cost supply. So even if you have a higher army supply right now, it doesn't necessarily mean that an entire army is going to be in one location, because you need to pre-split in order to deal with potential run-bys. Still no drilling claws is a massive issue, by the way. We have still no advanced ballistics either. Caduceus reactors has finished up, so we're going to get another defense right now. Actually, Liberator, just a single turret. Mine in the back as well. This orbital is going to survive for now. Baneling's trying to get towards the Bioforce. Not quite getting there. These ultras are falling. Liberators stay alive, and yes, a lot of SCVs went down, but at the same time, every single Ultra pretty much died as well. There's only 300 gas in the bank right now. 0 Ultras out. I think we can go for a full send across the map, and that seems to be Ryung's plan here as well. There is an Infestor sharking. Once more, Reynor not quite seeing that. So he pushes towards the middle where one of these rich Vespine geysers is. Lots of Liberators set up as a big fungal once again is going to connect. Are these links going to be good enough? I think the answer might just be yes. Ryung's going to get pushed back. So the Corruptors in the sky are good enough. That fungal was extremely impactful there, by the way. Extremely impactful. As more units are now moving in, Corruptors will probably be good enough to clear at least some of these Liberators. Even if this base falls at this point, I think Reynor's supply is just too weakened. And even without the gas, I think at this point he's going to be fine, because the Liberator count is pretty much non-existent. The Ultra count is going to grow to 3-4 Ultras. You have a Corruptor flank coming in here as well. These Marauders are going to start smacking the Ultras. And I think this game is slowly but surely coming to an end, with Reynor getting the short end of the stick. GG gets called, and our Italian Zerg player takes this map here on ley lines.